Syntrichia mosses form biocrusts all over the world, but there are a number of different kinds that are so similar that it's really quite difficult to tell them apart. Here's one, a desiccated form of a Syntrichia moss found in a biocrust near Nottingham. And here's its hydrated form in full sunshine, and it's extremely orange in colour, reflecting the sunshine perhaps. But which Syntrichia moss do we actually have here? And I think there are three possibilities, because there are about three different kinds that look rather similar. And this video is all about how you might decide which Syntrichia moss we have here. The first one that we have, Syntrichia caninervis, and we've got lots and lots of illustrations of this moss because it's so famous as the Mars moss, the moss that could possibly survive in Mars and grows abundantly in deserts, temperate deserts all over the world. And you can see the variety of images that show this moss, but it's quite difficult to be sure, are these entirely accurate? Here's we've got Syntrichia ruralis, another moss that does grow in biocrusts, but it's much more tolerant than caninervis and grows all over the world. And another one is Syntrichia calcicola, and this one is perhaps not so widely known, but it does look rather like the moss in the Nottingham biocrust. And there's the Nottingham biocrust again. There it is compared with caninervis. And the two do look very similar in my view, and perhaps this moss is caninervis. Here's the comparison with Syntrichia ruralis, and again, I don't think that the moss we have in Nottingham is really that close to ruralis, to be honest. And here we've got calcicola, and the comparison with our moss with that, this does look a bit like calcicola, I think. And there you have all three of the possibilities together, and you probably agree that they all look very similar. And there's ours again, looking orange in the sun. But where do these mosses come from? Caninervis has, as I said, a global distribution in temperate areas. It's found in North America and in China and in much of Europe, but strangely enough it's not been recorded in Britain. Here we've got calcicola, which has quite a wide European distribution, and as you can see it has been found from one location in the British Isles. Now, a paper that's been published on these mosses has been published recently, and it's looking at the comparison of these ruralis complex mosses. And here's a diagram which shows how closely the mosses are related, and you can see ruralis in the bottom left, calcicola in the upper left, and caninervis is also listed as part of this complex because of its genetic similarities. And although Syntrichia caninervis appears somewhat separate from the other members of the ruralis complex, its position within the complex has a high jackknife support. That's looking at the plastids within the genetic structure of the moss. So it may even be possible to say that caninervis is a form of ruralis, and quite often calcicola has been considered a form of ruralis itself. Please like and subscribe, and here's a better photograph, I think, of what our moss looks like. I think it may well be caninervis. It doesn't look much like ruralis or calcicola in my opinion. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.